Hi guys! So, the other day I got the biggest job lot of games I think I've ever got. So, the story goes, I've got a friend who's got a market stall down the road selling second-hand games. Not just retro games, he's got like current gen and, you know, older, like 360, PS3, PS2. The other week I went and he had a ZX Spectrum 128K plus 2, the grey version, on his counter. And he said it's not for sale because he needs to test it. So I said, have you got any Spectrum games? He said, oh, I've got loads in my storage unit. So I said, what about Commodore? He said, yeah, I've got some Commodore as well, and a few Amstrad. So he said, if you remind me on Facebook, just let me know, and I'll bring them to the stall. And there are some pretty rare titles. There's mainly Spectrum games, and then there's about, I'd say, 40% of Commodore 64 games, and I think I counted about 4 Amstrad games. So we're going to start off with, in fact we'll start off with one of the Amstrad games. Now I've got this on the Amstrad, but I've got the Hit Squad version, and I wanted the original release, and that is Chase HQ in probably one of the worst boxes I've ever seen. So it's just been crushed and water damaged at some point, I think. It's got the instructions in the tape, but it's just completely bashed. I don't think I can save that. Even if I tried, it's just too far gone. So the next ones are this video I'm going to be covering the big box games, so anything in a cardboard box, and then the next video, because there's far too many games to do in one video, so I might split it into 2 or 3 videos, maybe even 4, because there's a bag down there of the cassette, the dual case and the single case plastic cases, and the bag weighs a ton. I did my shoulder in when I was carrying it to the car. So the next ones are the Commodore 64 cassette games, and another battered box is Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. I've already got this version. I've got it on cassette and disc, so I'm not too bothered about that. Next up is a game I liked in the arcades as a kid, and that's Atomic Robo Kid. I can't remember ever seeing this, back in the day. I think I saw it advertised in Zap or C&VG, but yeah, I'll be keeping this one because I like the arcade game. I never played it on the Commodore 64. Now the next game, I've got this on the Spectrum, and now I've got it on the Commodore 64, but I haven't got a clue how to play it, and that's Lords of Chaos. It's some kind of RPG. I've tried to play it. It's got quite a big manual, I think, for yeah, so usually your manuals have different languages, and like English would be like 3 or 4 pages. The entire manual is in English. I've not got the time or the patience to sit down and read this because I'm not really into RPGs. Some RPGs, but this doesn't look like one I would play. And yeah, the box isn't that great. It's better than Chase HQ though on the Amstrad. Next up, the bigger boxes on the Commodore 64. I keep seeing this every time I go to like a gaming fair or a shop that sells retro games, and I never pick it up. And that's Mindbenders. Now it does say not for retail sale. Now I'm assuming this would have been given away with a Commodore 64 pack at some point. And there's 4 tapes, a big old manual. What's that underneath? Something else underneath there. Oh, it's got another instruction manual with it. Electric Crayon Deluxe. I always seem to find instructions for other games in these kind of boxes. So yeah, so it's got Trivial Pursuit, Split Personalities, Snare and Confusion. I've already got Trivial Pursuit. Split Personalities, I think that's like the... I always get that confused with Spitting Image because of it's got like Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan on it. But yeah, I think Split Personalities was like a puzzle game, like a sliding puzzle game. No idea what Snare is. Confusion looks a bit like Pipe Mania, and obviously Trivial Pursuit, based on the board game. And this one, even though I've already got all the games on the Commodore 64, it's nice to have, and it's the Night Moves compilation that came with the Commodore 64 Night Moves pack, and it's one of those games that doesn't say anything on the spine, or there's nothing on the back, so when you put it on your shelf it's just black, you can't see what it is. And there's no... is there a tray in there? No, there's no tray, it's just 5 tapes just loose in the box. Right, onto the Spectrum. So, like I said, there's a lot of Spectrum games here, so I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly. So, a nice, decent box of Fiendish Freddy's Big Top of Fun. Another nice box, Bart vs the Space Mutants, and there's a sticker on the front saying Free Badge Man, and lo and behold, it's still got the original badge or brooch still stuck to the card. I mean, some of these games look like they've never been used, like this next one, Lemmings. Now I was amazed when I found out the 8-bit computers got ports of Lemmings, because I just thought Lemmings was on the Amiga and the ST and PC until recently, because I never actually saw this available back in the day. Whenever I went into a shop and saw Lemmings, it was always on the Amiga or the Mega Drive. So that's complete with the manual. Next up, there's two of the same Batman. Now one of these has got a message inside, written on the inside cover of the previous owner. If I can get the thing out. Not that one. So yeah, it's got someone's address and name, and then it's been scribbled out, and then someone else, the next owner, has wrote a note in there as well. So it's always nice to see things like that, because it shows that a game's had history. Now this next game I've no interest in because it's football. That's Gaza 2. And it's got an original price on there of 99p. So that would have been in a bargain bin at some point 30 years ago. Next up is a game I've already got on the Spectrum. That's the Untouchables. And the next 3 are all from the same label. So these are the US Gold Capcom games, which were in the like purple and blue striped boxes. These just look like they've been brought straight from like 1990, 1991 in a time machine, because they're absolutely mint. So the first one is Black Tiger. I mean, you can see there how shiny the box is. And next up is the classic Ghouls and Ghosts. Again, nice and shiny. Now I'm not sure if these are his price labels, or whether they're price labels from the place he got them from. Now, even though I got a bargain, you know, the price he's labelled them up at is pretty pretty good as well. Now the box for this one's not as in good condition. It's got a bit of crushing on the back. That's Dynasty Wars. And again, that's got the same 99p sticker on. So that would have been in a bargain bin at some point. Now the big box Spectrum. Now I saw that this is the first game I saw because this was on top. And I've only ever owned this on the Hit Squad. So I've never actually owned the big box version. And that's Batman the Caped Crusader. Now unfortunately it's missing the poster / instructions. It's just got the tape with it. But it's, you know, it's held its shape. There's no crushing. Just a bit of shelf wear. Now this next one, I've never heard of it. It looks an interesting game. A lot of nice graphics, but as usual they've showed the Amiga version and not the Spectrum, and that's Night Orc. And on the back you can see there the different shots from the Amiga version. There's 3 tapes. Got a big manual. It says it's got a novel, The Sign of the Orc. Right, so that's meant to be the novel. So it's just got a short story there and some instructions for the game. But it looks like there's 3 different games or 3 different stories, because each tape's got a different title or subtitle. Might give it a go. Now when I saw this I was hoping it was on the Commodore 64, but alas it's on the Spectrum. And that's The Last Ninja 2 in the original box. From what I can tell, it's got everything with it. So it's got the Avengers Handbook. It's got a pretty battered poster. Not sure whether that's like some kind of map. And then it's got some instructions in Italian, I think. And then it's got the little note there about cassette users. And what I really like about these games, sometimes you get a receipt in, to see when it was originally purchased. And it's got the original receipt, and it was $12.99, and it was bought on the 29th of December 1988. And the final big box Spectrum game is World Beaters Giants. Now, onto the good stuff. So, when I bought this, I had no idea these were in. He did say there were some sealed games, but I had no idea these were in this set. So, all these are Commodore 64 disc games, and as you may know, they go for a lot more than the tape versions. So, first up, Space Harrier 2 in a beautiful shiny box, and like I said, it's on disc. Never played Space Harrier 2. So Elite did the conversion for Space Harrier 1, and this one was done by Grand Slam. I'm not sure why Elite didn't do this conversion. So that's the Commodore 64 version down there. Now this is the first sealed one. Now this does look like it's been brought back to the future, because it just looks like someone just gone to WX Smith's, bought it and brought it straight back here, and it's still sealed. And that is the No Limits compilation, if you can call it a compilation, with only 2 games. No Limits double pack with UN Squadron and Strider 2, and as you can see, completely sealed. and it's on disc. I've no idea how much it's worth. I've had a look on eBay. I couldn't see any listed, and I couldn't see any that had sold. But yeah, I'm not going to open it. If I want to play the game, I'll either buy the cassette or just play it on an emulator. But yeah, I'm not going to open that, even though I'm really tempted. But no, I'm going to keep that sealed. Next up is another double pack, and that is Nightbreed and Midnight Resistance. It's got both discs and the manual. Box is a bit crushed. You can tell in the light there. Some sort of like scuffing on the bottom. Both games work because this is the only one I've tested so far. This next one, this is the first game I saw in the bag, and realised it was on disc, and that's the original release of Akari Warriors. Yeah, I've got this on the Spectrum, on the Spectrum tape, and you can see the Spectrum version is a bit battered, whereas this just looks perfect. It's on a white disc, which I've never seen before. Right, getting towards the end of the big box games now. Next one is again on disc, and it's sealed, and that is Total Eclipse. Now it's a game I always used to see advertised in you know, the computer magazines back in the day. Always thought it looked like an interesting game, and then when I realised it was one of those wireframe 3D type games, like your you know, like your Castle Master and your Driller, I'm not the biggest fan of those. So this is a special edition version. So this has got Total Eclipse and Total Eclipse 2. They've obviously just stuck it in the Total Eclipse box and put a sticker on it. So yeah, I'm not going to open that one because I'm not really interested in the game. It just looks nice. Nice artwork. Now the next one is the Advanced OCP Art Studio. It's a bit like Deluxe Paint from what I can see. Be interested to see how that compares to Deluxe Paint, because I used to use Deluxe Paint an awful lot when I was at college. So you've got two big manuals. So you've got the OCP Art Studio and the Advanced OCP Art Studio, and then the disc. So that's a really nice box. I'll probably keep hold of that one. Now these two, same game, both sealed. Barbarian 2, Dungeon of Drax. I suppose I could open one of them, but I don't want to. I'm not really a fan of the second Barbarian. I used to have the first Barbarian years ago, but I just didn't like Barbarian 2. So it's got Barbarian 1 included, but I'm still not going to open it. I'll probably just keep one and sell the other. And starting to get a fortress built of games now. And last couple, I've never even heard of this collection, let alone the games. And that's the Loops collection. Not sure what the Loops collection is or why it's called Loops. It's made by a company called Audiogenic. And it's got Emlyn Hughes' Arcade Quiz and what's the other one? Helter Skelter. Oh no, Loops is a game, I think. Right, so there's 3 games. I'm not sure why it's called the Loops Collection. Such a random compilation. So there's a game called Loops, a game called Helter Skelter, and then Emlyn Hughes' Arcade Quiz. Really random. And the last one is the Christmas collection by Hewson. So it's got all the Hewson games there, or a collection of Hewson games. It's got Eliminator, Hydra Fool, Cybernoid 2, Light Force, Iridium, Sanction and Exelon. But if you look, Hydra Fool is omitted for some reason. Just a plain box with a slip cover. And, oh, just one disc. Would have thought there'd be more than that. Doesn't actually say on what games are on, it just says Hewson, Commodore 64, 128. So that's all the big box games from this job lot. So the next one will be all the dual case or the double dual case games. There are some classics in there, but there are also some like budget titles that I've never even heard of. Like, oh, what's that one there? I can see a game from here called Heavy on the Magic. I've never heard of that game. And there's another one called Rat. Is it Rat Trap? No, Cat Trap. No idea. Anyway, that'll be coming soon, possibly in the next week or so. Keep an eye out for that one. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.